What up, you zone, and all you fans, really? Back at it with another In the Zone commit analysis video. Had some fun doing this for Down Bentley and want to do more video going forward. So do me a favor, smash that subscribe button, like the video, leave a comment if you don't mind. Um, really want to do more of this going forward. So please hit the subscribe button like I asked, and let's dive into what Utah's latest commit brings and what he means to the program. And so, with that, let's dive into some of the film here. And with Hunter Andrews, what you see, you see a fantastic prospect first and foremost. I submitted an evaluation for him, and he's been assigned an 87 debut rating, which is right in line with what I suggested. And I think there's potential for that number to improve, especially as he will play more linebacker this season. There's belief that he's really going to shine in that role on the defense side of the ball. So what stands out the most about Hunter Andrews is just how athletic he is at his size. He's a legit 6'2" and a half, 212 pounds. That's what he measured on his official visit. He has a decent frame that appears capable of holding another 20 pounds or so without sacrificing a whole lot of his athletic ability. And all of that gives him a promising projection to the linebacker position and potentially, maybe the offensive side of the ball at tight end or running back. You see great change of direction as a running back. That's where he played almost exclusively in high school. He did play a little linebacker, but mostly running back. You see the change of direction, but you also see the speed to be a big play threat. He hasn't been a big participant in track, but he ran this past spring and nearly broke the 11-second threshold. I think his best time, he had an 11:16 and an 11:09 second times in the 100 meter. Also, nearly a 20-foot long jump. So there are good verifiable athletic qualities here. It's clear that he's just a football player. He played the running back position this past season, but was willing to play linebacker for a day so that Colton Swan could evaluate him at a camp in Dallas, Texas. And so he impressed. And shortly after that camp, Utah extended the offer his way. And then, even just beyond the film, Andrews is a very promising, very good academic student with offers from Stanford and Northwestern, two schools that he had official visits to or scheduled to. But then, even beyond those two, you've got Columbia, Hartford, Dartmouth, you know, programs that signify that there's some good academics there as well. So Andrews is a bright kid. He's also known as being pretty competitive, which are good qualities to have at Utah. So what it means for Utah is specifically to recruiting. Andrew is a good addition to the linebacker spot, but he also has the positional flexibility to play other spots, like I mentioned, tight end or running back on the offensive side of the ball if Utah ends up needing him there. It's always important to add as much talent as possible, but at this stage of the cycle, it's also kind of beneficial to add some versatile players that can potentially play a variety of positions, which will give Utah some flexibility moving forward. And linebacker is a bit of a need this cycle, not a great need, but it's important Utah just continues to keep the shelf stocked with incoming talent. It's not unreasonable for Utah to potentially end up with two more linebackers in the class. So having Andrews as a potential swing spot could be very beneficial down the road. And then what it means for linebacker at Utah specifically. Obviously, this 2023 linebacking corps is loaded. Utah returns two stars in Karene Reed and Lander Barton. They've added another tackling machine in Lavani Damuni. They welcome Sione Fotu home from a mission. He started in 2020. And then they still have very promising athletic redshirt freshman Justin Medlock, another true freshman in Owen Chambliss, and still even more depth beyond those guys in Hayden Fury and Josh Calvert. So looking ahead to 2024, there's a real possibility that Utah will see both Damuni and Reed move on to the next level, potentially, flirt with the NFL and potentially could come back. So you have to kind of prepare for that. That means there could be two spots open to fill. There could be more. Even and for Utah, you also have to be mindful of 2025 with Lander Barton, who is being viewed as a 3-year plan type of guy. So you've got some guys that could move on from the program. So Utah adding a linebacker in this class who will join for 2024. He'll likely be joined by at least one other linebacker in the class. Looking at what the backer room looks like in 2024 in the 2024 season, Andrews will come in. It's going to be a loaded room. It's going to be a crowded room, but there's going to be an open competition. And with Andrews making the switch to linebacker this season for his senior year, it'll be really fun to see just how much progress he can make in that new position for him, and what that means for him and Utah going forward. But again, Utah adds a dynamic athlete in Hunter Andrews, fantastic academic kid as well, and a very competitive kid. He really fits the culture of that relentless, smart, nasty ball hawk defense that Morgan Scalley has cultivated there up at Utah. So Hunter Andrews, a big pickup, a good piece to add to the puzzle during the summer, a good foundation to build your foundation of the class with. You're kind of hoping that this kickstarts some momentum for other recruits to start announcing, their commitments and their decisions moving forward. Gives Utah a little bit of momentum moving forward. And that's going to be key as we get into July, where a few other guys will be coming to a decision soon. So really good pickup, good addition, and hopefully this gets some momentum started for Utah going forward.